Hello, welcome to Tony's Bonsai. Today I'm going to be working on one of my collected spruces, doing some wiring, etc. But first of all, I just wanted to update you on this oak that I bent a couple of weeks ago. The video was called something like using a G-cramp to bend an oak or bend a tree or something like that. And this was what I used to get this down into shape. Interesting video, check it out if you haven't seen it. But I needed to take this off because I don't want to leave my cramp outside. The solution I came up with was to apply another piece of rope down here. It's amazing how much this had actually taken the shape already. I mean, it'll spring straight back if it's released, but it was really under lots of tension to be in this position. And within a couple of weeks, it's already, I could have taken it further if I'd wanted, but I didn't want to. I applied this piece of rope, I twisted it round, and then I've just used this chopstick just to hold that in place, and it can now stay outside for the winter, and we'll see how that goes when I remove it next year. I really enjoyed doing that dwarf spruce that I got from the supermarket, but whether it lives or not I don't know. But this one I'm sure is going to do well. I collected it in the spring, I've just left it for the year, and it's absolutely full of buds, so I've got loads of options. And now's a good time for me to start manipulating some of these branches into place. But first of all, I just want to have a little look at the base. I'm definitely not doing any root work, but I just want to just take away this bit here, just to show you what's down here. My priority at the time of potting this was just to get it nice and securely into the pot. I think, if I recall rightly, it's got quite a nice little spread of roots at the bottom. And it's what they call a mother and daughter planting. So, oh yeah, look at that there. It spreads out really nicely. It's got a lovely radial spread of roots around there. So, this tree works really nicely alongside this one. All I want to do is move it slightly away, so I want to get some wire on this and move it. This tree has produced backbuds all over. They're coming from the trunk, up on the older branches, and all the way along the newer, younger branches as well. So I've got options everywhere in terms of design. I'm about halfway through the wiring, and I've realised I've got a dead branch, so I may as well just cut this off. This is the site that I made the major chop when I collected this in the spring. But obviously this branch hasn't made it, and so it's got to come off. I'm unsure whether to cut this side of the callus like that, or whether to actually cut into it like that. I'm going to do that. There. That'll just heal over nicer, and it'll stop it there being like a really huge bulge. I don't show too much wiring because it can become very repetitive, but I thought this would interest you. What I'm using here is what's called a pre-formed hook. I've been using these pretty much since I started bonsai. I just sort of thought this is a natural way to attach wire. But then I was watching a recent video by Ryan Neal, and he told me the name of it, and it's a technique he uses. And what you do is, I want to get some wire up this trunk, and it's fairly thick. There's no other branch that I want to wire. So what I can do is, I can just slide the hook around there. It sits nicely, and that just acts as a base, a really nice solid anchor for my base there. Obviously, it comes straight off if I release the pressure, but I don't release the pressure. What I do is, I just continue to take this bend around like that, and it's absolute rock solid. I love this method. Works really well. This thick section below the cut, I'm not planning on moving, but I wanted to get this really solidly anchored in so I can get some movement into this, because I want to twist and bend this piece. So I like to use a nice strong thick wire that I know will do the job. And this one meets the bill fits the bill nicely, should I say. So I get that right round there, and that's just spot on. What I will do though is just use my pliers to just tuck that piece of wire nicely round the top there. The wire's all nicely applied now. I've not applied any to the smaller branches. This is really still structural work, and we normally start at the bottom, but today I want to start at the top because that's going to influence what I do with all the lower branches. I've made a decision to sort of change the apex of the tree. That's why I've just applied that thicker piece of wire. As we go up the trunk here, it's all nice, and then it comes to a bit of a clump with multiple pieces, and I was thinking, which one should I keep, which one should I remove? And in the end, I've decided to make this into the new leader. So what I want to do is apply a bend to this piece and a twist so that this becomes the new top. And I want to do it while leaving these on for the health of the tree. So these will be sacrificial, and I'll be cutting across here in the future, but I don't want to do that today. So the main job now is to twist and rotate this branch so that this goes up to the top. So it's a question of kind of rotating and bending. There we go, that's worked nicely. So that's now at the top. This can be cut in the future. It's added a bit of interest to that section, which I quite like. Maybe the bend's a bit severely at the top. I'd prefer it to be a bit more gentle. So if I do that, that's nice. I can now also do something with this if I want, but I'll just put it there for the time being. I've not really talked about the front of the tree, but I do see this as the front. The only issue is this lower branch here is kind of coming at us, but that's easily solved by just pulling that round to the side there. I don't mind the fact that it comes at us and this one slightly comes at us. It's just that from here these branches seem to be all moving kind of towards us but spreading out, and I like that effect. I think it looks good. So that's going across like that. Now for this one, the biggie. This is straight. It doesn't really do much at all in terms of interest. I do love the position of it though. It's a really nice branch that I want to keep, but I've got to get something going with it. And because this lower branch has turned away, I think I'll just take this one just down like that. There. Yeah, I think that looks quite good, because that's kind of mimics the top of the tree, which also kind of comes across there. So this branch comes across in that direction. I think, bearing that in mind, I think I'd like it to come up a little more before it turns. Yeah, that seems like a more natural position now. Now what to do with this side? Over there, we've got the opposite one, and I don't want this to just mirror this, because if it mirrors it, it just doesn't look right to me. So I think this one can come, I should be able to get that coming quite a lot straighter than this, so there's difference in the angles, and then it can go up like that. And I like that. That adds something different to this branch. And they both look natural. Before I do anything with this, what you call a daughter in a mother and daughter composition, we've got some nice buds just there. And this is in the way, so I'll just cut that out. I want to get some movement into this. It goes up. I think I'll just bring it across like that. And then up. like that. So just adding some basic movement to it that I think works quite well. Let me look from behind the camera. Yeah, I like that. That's all right. Down and up, because I know they bounce back, these spruce. They don't half bounce back. That's good, yeah, like that. This branch to the right that I just moved before, so across and up, has got a couple of branches on the end of it, and I've wired those. And here they are. They're very, very splayed at the moment. They're almost in a line, so it's not ideal, and I want to bring them, if possible, a bit closer together, because then they look a bit more realistic as branches. I've got a small branch here that I've also applied wire to. Again, we're looking from the front, and this is one that it does actually come quite out from the side. So I just need to reposition it over there in that direction. Perhaps coming across, just across like that, and then up like that. And I need to do something with this, the daughter trunk, which is over here, because this is now clashing with that. And I've decided to take this one backwards, so it's away from the camera, like that. So putting some twist in, that then has its own nice little bit of space over in this direction in which to sit, which is great. I do think this is quite straight now though. That's the only downside, is that that's straight. I can't take it downwards because all of my other branches are coming up in an upward direction. So I'll just do that, and it just takes the eye off. Stops it looking like it's just a straight line, which generally don't look good in trees. Having done the work on this side now, I'm going to come back to this other side, and I think this is quite straight and wants some more interesting movement putting into it. Because this is the front, I did move it backwards, which I'm okay with, I like that. But I just want to increase that bend so that it's now snaking. And although it looks quite flat from this direction, it's got good lateral movement. And I think I can even add some movement in this direction as well, just to stop it looking boring. That's better, definitely better, yeah. And from a lower view, you can see that movement. The only branch left now that leaves me feeling like it's slightly boring is this one. I mean, all branches don't have to have crazy movement in them, I understand that, but this one is just a bit too gentle of a curve, and I'm wondering if I can take it up and then down like that, just to add. So I'll take it down at the base if I can, like that, then up, then down. So let's get that bend there in it, and then bring that there. I do like that, but I think I need another piece of wire. I really can't be trying to work on a branch when the wire that I've applied won't hold the position that I'm trying to put it in. So I'd rather just add another piece of wire. This adds extra support, and this is such an important branch to the composition. It's not worth risking it. So that easily holds that now, and I'll be able to take that branch down there. So straight away, I've achieved what I wanted to achieve, but was struggling before to do. And I can now also get that in that direction. That's more like it. So now I've got up, back, and down. There we go. That's the look I wanted. Across, up and out. So I've still got the mimicking of the top section up here that comes across and up, but it's just got more interest to it. Yeah, that works well. I think I'll do something more with this branch here now. You know, in an ideal world, I suppose you'd be able to do one branch at a time and put them in the perfect position, but that's not the reality. Sometimes you have to do a branch, go back to another branch, work it a bit more, and oh, this is the one I just did, but I've obviously moved it. In moving that branch, I've obviously moved this one, which is fine. I just have to put it back into the position that I had it in before, and I can't really remember. Oh yeah, it was something like that. So it goes up, comes down, so I've got a bit of a bend at the bottom, and then round there. Yeah, I quite like that. I think that looks quite good. And this leaves me one branch left to wire, and although it's a skinny one, it's an important branch, this, because it's the main back branch of the whole composition. So I'll just put some basic movement into it, really, just a bit of an S, and again, take it up, maybe take it down a bit, and then back up, and then see how it looks as I view from the front. Yeah, it's filling this space around here really nicely. I'll show you that. This is not easy to see from here, but it's this branch here. It comes across and fills this space, which is really important. So yeah, I'm happy with that. That's worked out really well. I think the overall design of that tree is coming together. It's becoming quite an interesting overall sort of bonsai image, and I do feel like I'm getting to grips with spruce in the same way it's taken me a while to understand Japanese maples and pines. I find spruce quite challenging, but the ideas are beginning to sink in now, and this is a really good tree to prune. It's got lots of buds, and I'll be able to show you how I go about that. But I've got lunch now with my mum. We're going for a nice carvery, so I'll do this on a future video. If you want to see how I prune a spruce, you know what to do. But apart from that, have a great day. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you soon.